Okay, so you remember this last program that we had done, the stars were arranged in this way. Like there is 1 star in the first line, two stars in the second line, 3 stars in the third line, 4 stars in the fourth line, and the design was somewhat like this. Now I want to replace these stars by 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Then what? What I mean to say is, in this star there will be 1 in place of this star. In place of this star there is 1, sorry, this is 1, and here instead of this star this is 2. That is 1 in the first line, 1, 2 in the second line. Similarly, in the third line what should be there? 1, 2 and 3. Isn't it so? So definitely in the fourth line I will be outputting 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So similar to like this, we should have in the fifth line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and so on. It should continue. So say in the sixth line there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No doubt about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you should start thinking how to write this program. Similarly, in the last line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how to write this program? See, it's very simple. You can understand it's very simple for all of you. I just need to replace this star by the number. So if you look into this part of the program should remain as it is. That is, this part of the program, why was it there? It was there so that you put the gaps at the start of the line. So putting the gaps at the start of the line should remain as it is, because here also you are putting exactly the same number of gaps. Now, next, here you are printing the start. So instead of printing the star, what do you need to print? You need to print 1. In the first line you need to print 1. In the second line you need to print 1, 2. In the third line you need to print 1, 2, 3. So see, if you remember, in the outer for loop, we were entering the outer for loop when we were entering for the first time, we were entering with I equal to 1. When we execute this entire outer for loop and go back to the start of the outer for loop, then I was incrementing and becoming 2. So we were entering the second line with I equal to 2, we are entering the third line with I equal to 3, because every time in the loop once printf/n was there. So every time we are entering with a value of I which is equal to the line number where our control is present in. When we are entering the fourth line, I is having a value of 4. So over here I know we were executing this from j equal to 1 to the line number 1 to I. So when we were entering the fourth line, I was 4. So j was being executed from 1 to 4. What does that mean? 4 stars were being printed in the fourth line. But in the fourth line, instead of stars, I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4. Now j is in this iteration, j is iterating from 1 to 4. J is iterating from 1 to 4 over here, which means that if instead of star I print this j, or not j, the value of j, that is %d, and replace that %d by j, then definitely this j in the fourth line will move from 1 to I, that is 1 to 4. When we enter this outer for loop, I will be 5. For the fifth line, I will be 5. So j will be iterating from 1 to 5 in the fifth line, and every time it is going to print, j means it is going to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the sixth line, I will be 6. So this j will be iterating from 1 to 6, and every time you print j means you are printing 1 to 6, and that's it. Let us execute this program and see how it looks like. Say in the 7, for 7, see it looks exactly like this: 1, then 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So I believe you understand this. This is quite fine. This is executing. But say I want to change the design a little bit. But before that, let me execute this program once more, maybe for 5 lines. This is fine enough. Maybe if we want to execute it for a bigger, say 10 lines, or say 9 lines, say sorry, I printed 19, very sorry. 19 will not execute because it will not fit in the screen. So let us run it for 9. So this is fine enough for 9. Now here instead of printing 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on in the lines, what if I want to print 9 in the first line? You see, just the reverse thing. I want to print 9 in the first line. In the second line, I want to print 9, 8. In the third line, I want to print 9, 8, 7. In the fourth line, I want to print 9, 8, 7, 6. Let me show you what I want. What I want is something like this. Say for 7 lines, this 7 lines. Whenever it is 7 line, I know the last number being printed is 7. So instead of printing 7 over here, what I do is, I want to print 7 here. And here, instead of 1, 2, I want to print 7, 6. Here, instead of 1, 2, 3, what do I want to print? I want to print 7, 6 and 5. So here I want to print 7, 6, 5, 4, 7, 6, 5 and 4. Similarly, over here I want to print 7, 6, 5, 4 and 3. Here I want to print 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 and 2. Here I want to print just the reverse, 7 to 1, that is 7, sorry, this is 6, not 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, this is 4, okay, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So this is what the look I want to. Now you understand now over here, this loop again, this part of printing the gaps, will it change? No, it will never change. This part of printing the gaps will be same, because here also at the start of every line you are putting in exactly the same number of gaps. So that part of printing the gaps should not change. But here I was printing J, means I am printing 1 in the first line, 1, 2 in the second line, 1, 2, 3 in the third line. But see, I will have to print this lines. You have to always start with the value line. See, I am scanning. Where am I? When the user is entering 7, where are you scanning this 7? You are scanning this 7 in the variable lines. What does it mean? That in every line you are basically starting to print from the value lines, and you are continuing up to the number of values that is being printed. So in the first line you are printing 1 value. So this number of count is as it is, 1 to I. It indicates how many values you are printing in the line. So when I is entering with a value of 4, when this I is entering with a value of 4, J is executing or iterating from 1 to 4. What does that mean? 4 numbers will be printed. Here also I want to print 4 numbers in the fourth line. If you have a look at the fourth line, you see this is the fourth line. How many numbers you are printing in the fourth line? 4 numbers. So J, when you are executing it from 1 to I is basically entering in the fourth line with a value I equal to 4. So over here J is executing from 1 to I, means J is executing from 1 to 4. You are wanting to print 4 numbers itself. But every time, what do you want to print? You always want to start from 7 if lines have scanned 7. If there are 9 lines, you want to start from lines. So can I do one thing? Can I have another variable called k, which I initiate with lines? I told you that you can have 2 initialization. So k suppose starts from lines. And how many is to be printed, that depends on that. What you want to print is, how many you want to print, that is j, 1 to I. These many values you want to print, j equal to 1 to j less than equal to I, which means you want to print 1 to I. In the fourth line I is 4, so 1 to 4, 4 numbers. But where from do you want to start? You want to start from lines, because if there are 7 lines, you want to start from 7. So you always want to start printing from 7. So instead of printing j, I will not print j, I will print k. K is what? Line. So it will always start printing from 7. But next time, instead of printing the next value of k, it will print the not the value next to k. Instead of printing after 7, it is not going to print 8, it is going to print 6. So this k should be decremented. So first time it prints 7 means second time it should print 6. Next time it should print 5 and so on. And only this much of change in the program is sufficient for this program to execute. You see what I have done? I have not done any change at all. The portion of printing gap remains as it is. The portion of counting of j1 to I remains as it is. Only instead of printing j, I am printing k, where k is lines to starting from lines and decrementing. So it starts from lines means it starts from 7 and decrements. In the first number, it prints only one number. In the first line, it prints only one number, 7. In the second line, it prints two numbers, but starts from lines, that is 7, and prints two numbers, 7 and 6, and k is decrementing. So it prints 7 and 6. If you talk about the fourth line, what have I done? I have still started in the fourth line. I am counting j1 to I. I is 4. So 4 numbers will be printed. But what is being printed? K is being printed. Where from k has started? K has started from lines. Here what is lines? Lines is 7. So it starts from 7 and prints 4 numbers, and it prints 7, 6, 5, 4, not 7, 8, 9, 10, because I have decremented k every time k minus minus is happening. So this program will again run perfectly fine. So let me write, sorry, I did not define k. Remember, I have used a variable called k, which I need to define also. So let me run it now. So say 7. Yeah, it prints F. So if you want to print say 9 lines, you run it again, say Alt R enter. You want to print 9 lines, so 9, so 9, 9, 8, 9, 8, 7, 9, 8, 7, 6 and so on. You want to print as many number of lines or whatever number of lines, it will run perfectly fine. For 5 lines, it will start from 5 and so on. Now, the last part over here is, see, you can understand I am basically playing with logic. If you want to do anything, you want to do any design or anything like that, you can think of the design and yourself start writing the program or try to start writing the program. The thing is that as many logical changes, as many changes to the design you can make, that good you will be, that better you will be doing the programming. So better is we try out different ways of programming. So say over here, I change the design a little bit now. So what I do is I get rid of this part, say this part. I get rid of this part. So here I want a new design. Now what is the design over here? Same thing, I will like to have say 7 numbers in the 7th line. But say I do like this: 1, 1 gap 2, 1 gap 3, 1 gap 4, 1 gap 5, 1 gap 6, 1 gap 7. Why? Because in the previous line what I want is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The design is somewhat like this. Generally what was happening in the 6th line, there were 6 numbers, but over here I want something like this. So what do you want over here? Over here 1, 2, 3. So what do you want over here? You want only 1. So basically you see the design is somewhat like this, where in the 4th line there are not 4 numbers but 7 numbers. So let me, if you want to bring, so if you want to write this program properly, you have to analyze what this program has basically wanted to. You want to print 1 in the first line, that is, maybe if you think like this, 1 number in the first line, but not 2 numbers in the second line, 3 numbers in the second line, not 3 numbers in the third line, 5 numbers in the third line. In the 4th line, not 4 numbers but 7 numbers. So if you want to have a count of the number of values that are being printed in a line, in the first line you are basically printing, first line, how many numbers? 1 number. So how many numbers are you printing in the second line? In the second line you are printing 2 numbers. You check this one out. In the third line you are not printing, not 2 numbers. In the second line you are printing 3 numbers. In the third line you are not printing 3 numbers. You are printing 5 numbers. In the 4th line you are not printing 4 numbers. Please count how many numbers you are printing. In the fourth line you are printing 7 numbers. So generalize this. This 1 is 2 into 1 minus 1. 3 is 2 into 2, 4 minus 1. 5 is 2 into 3, 6 minus 1. 7 is 2 into 4 minus 1. Check out in the first line, 2 into 1 minus 1 is 1. Second line, this is 2. 2 into 2 minus 1 is 3. 3 numbers. In the third line, 2 into 3 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 numbers. In the fourth line, 2 into 4 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. So 7 numbers. So in this way it continues. So I can say that how many numbers I am printing, that basically is dependent on the line number. It is 2 into the line number minus 1. So if I look at this, see over here, when I am printing, let's get rid of this part. I don't want a K anymore. Let's get rid of the K thing. I am printing from 1. So if I basically think over here, I was printing from 1 to line number. Say when I was 4, you were entering the fourth line, or we can say we were entering the fourth line with I equal to 4. So J was counting from 1 to 4 and was printing how many numbers? It was printing 4 numbers. But now I don't want 4 numbers in the fourth line. Instead, in the fourth line, how many numbers do you need? 2 into 4 minus 1. So basically in the ith line, you don't need I numbers. See, in the ith line, I am entering ith line with the value of I, whatever. Say I am entering the 7th line with I equal to 7. So in the 7th line, I don't want 7 numbers. Instead, I want 2 into 7 minus 1, that is 13 numbers. So basically this J will move from 2 into I minus 1. Don't you agree with me? J will move from 2 into I minus 1 to 2 into I minus 1. I explain once more. When I is 4, how many numbers you want to print? See over here, I is 4, fourth line. You enter fourth line with I equal to 4. So in the fourth line, how many numbers you want to print? 7 numbers. So in the ith line, how many numbers do you want to print? 2 into I minus 1. So in the ith line, I am basically wanting to print 2 into I minus 1 numbers. So J will move from 1 to 2 into I minus 1. So every time in the loop I should print J. So if I go like this, things will be fine. But don't you forget that over here I am giving one gap between two numbers, so that this design looks fine. This design looks nice. I am giving one gap between the numbers. So here there is the program was designed to give 3 gaps between the numbers, but now I want one gap. I have removed the 2 gaps. So this part should be done. Say when I am in the fourth line, what am I printing? What am I doing? I am basically printing in my fourth line. I am basically printing 1 to 2 into 4 minus 1, that is 1 to 7. I am printing 7 numbers in the fourth line. So when I am in the fourth line, I am printing 7 numbers. When I am in the third line, I will enter the third line with what value of I? I equal to 3. So in the third line, I will be printing 2 into 3, 6 minus 1, 5. So J equal to 1 to 5. 5 numbers will be printed, and J is incrementing. So it will definitely print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this gap part, is it okay? Let me check out once. In the fourth line or in the nth line, you don't want a gap. In the n minus 1th line, you want how many gaps? 2 gaps. N minus 1 line, 2 gaps. So n minus 2 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 gaps. N minus 4 line, fourth line, 1, 2, 3, 4. N minus 4th line. N minus, this is nth line, 0 gaps. N minus 1 line, 2 gaps. N minus 2th line, 4 gaps. N minus 3rd line, how many gaps? N minus 3rd line, you check out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gaps. So every time I want exactly the same number of gaps, that is lines minus I into 2. You check out how. I repeat once more. In the first line, you want how many gaps? You want first line 6 gaps. So it is not first line. If you really think of it, it is n minus, for 7 it is basically the n minus third line, n minus 3rd line. How many gaps do you need? 6 gaps. So basically you want that only. Over here this enter will not be 7, this will be 4, you remember, because you are dealing with 4 lines. So n minus 3th line you want 6 gaps. N minus 2th line, n is 4 over here, number of lines is 4 over here. So 4 minus 3 is 1, first line, 6 gaps. N minus 2th line, 4 minus 2, second line, definitely. How many gaps do you need? You need 4 gaps. So in this way I can say, always when I am in the n minus ith line, I need 2i gaps. So basically I can say it is n minus I, that is lines minus I into 2. It should remain proper. Let me run this program again and check out how many, enter the number of lines. So number of lines is 7. So this looks absolute. So if you want to enter it for say 5 lines, run it for 5 lines. So again alt R enter, say 5. So what it happens? 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So this program will work absolutely fine. You can understand this. I will take up another last part of this program because as I was saying that we are playing with numbers, so we can take up a last part of the program. And what is that last part of the program? Last part of the program is somewhat like this, that I will do, let me write it over here only so that the things become easy. Say 1, in the next line I want to print 1, 2, 1. Here I want to print 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Do you find the symmetry? Here I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So 7 numbers in the 4th line. The count is still the same, but it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4 and then comes back to 3, 2, 1. So do you understand? In the 4th line, basically I am going from 1, 2, 3, 4 and then coming back 3, 2, 1. In the 3rd line I am going 1, 2, 3 and then coming back 2 and 1, then coming back 2 and 1. In the 2nd line I am going 1 and 2 and then coming back to 1. So what do you understand over here? Here j, basically in the ith line you will go from j 1 to I. This is absolutely same. You are going j equal to 1 to I, but over here after that you will come back from I minus 1 to 1, is not it so? That is, you start again from I minus 1 and you come back up to 1 greater than equal to 1 and j minus minus. See this logic. You are starting from you are printing in the ith line, you are printing j equal to 1 to I. So in the 4th line you are basically going from 1, 2, 3, 4 and then what are you doing? You are coming back 3, 2, 1. In the 3rd line you are doing 1, 2, 3 and then coming back to 1. So that is what I have done. In the 3rd line I am going from j equal to 1 to I and printing j. After that I am coming back from I minus 1, that is 3 minus 1, 2 to 1. So in the 4th line I is 4. J I am going from 1 to I, that is 4, 1 to 4 and then coming back I minus 1, j equal to 3 to 1, j minus minus. So this program will work absolutely fine. Printf maybe %d, printf %d and j. So this program will run fine. What have I done? Once more, I have gone from 1 to the line number. In the 4th line, I want 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have gone from 1 to the line number 1, 2, 3, 4. This part, this symmetry, if you check out this part 1, 2, 3, 4. I have gone from j equal to 1 to I, 1, 2, 3, 4. This part of the program, j equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 3, 2, 1, which part of the program? The next part of the program, I minus 1 to 1. So see what I have done after this loop is over, I minus 1, that is I is 4, 3 to 1, j minus minus, I have printed 3 to 1. So if I run this program will also run fine. This part of the code I need to comment out. So just comment out these lines, this part of the lines you comment out, and your program will execute absolutely fine. Alt enter. 7. Oh, there is a mistake, sorry. Oh yes, you remember the mistake? What mistake I have done? I did not give a gap over here. This gap was missing out, so this made a mistake. So now I run it, say 7, check out, this is absolutely fine. 1 1 2 1 1 2 3 2 1 1 2 3 4 3 2 1 1 2 3 4 5 4 3 2 1 and so on. So this program runs absolutely fine. You can run it once more, alt enter, 5 lines. So see, this program runs absolutely fine. So here we can take a bit of break and again come back with the next program. Thank you so much.